Welcome, everyone. It's the Sports Writers Podcast, and there they are. Bill Stacy, Nick Giannino, Matt Williams, all from the Salem News, and Nick Kukaru, the sports editor of the Gloucester Times, Bill, the executive sports editor of the papers. And gentlemen, welcome. We're back. We're past Memorial Day. We're right into high school tournament time. And by the time this airs, it'll be the month of June. So summer is just about, it's the unofficial start of summer, I guess. So, gentlemen, welcome. It's good to see you guys again.
You too, Bill.
Good to see you.
All right, so let's begin with baseball. We don't have the tournament pairings out, but they're coming out. We have some power rankings we could also probably peek at here. But if we were to discuss high school baseball here on the North Shore, what we're looking at, Matt Williams, you want to start us off and how you see things shaping up here?
Sure. I would like, in fact, I will start in the Northeastern Conference, as we always like to involve our friend up north, Mr. Kukaru. We must note first that so of the 10 teams in the NEC, there are 9 going to the postseason, and all 9 of those teams have a 500 or better record. So none of these teams are getting in on a fake power ranking, nonsensical thing. They all earn their way in, right? So that's impressive to me. You've got your champions, Beverly, Danvers, and Marblehead. You've got a Gloucester team that did not win a championship, but finished with the best overall record in the league at 14-6. So I'm not ruling out Gloucester. Again, Marblehead and Swampscott and Beverly all had 13 wins. Then you've got Danvers with 12, Economic with 11. Peabody, Winthrop, and Saugus with 10. So that's 9 10-win teams in the league. That looks good to me. Now, thus far, that has not been rewarded in the power rankings for whatever reason. And we can get into that. I don't know what it is. I can tell you that 11 times in the last 13 state tournaments, a team from the Northeastern Conference has made a state Final Four. So to me, that means it's a good baseball league. It's been proven out over the years. That's a big sample size. Whether these power rankings agree or disagree, I don't know. I have a good feeling one of these teams is going to go on a run and have a really good postseason. But if you ask me to say which one it's going to be, I have no idea. So that's really where I'm at. I like the league. I'm impressed with the depth. I'm impressed with the, the parity. I really think somebody's going to catch fire and play some good baseball here and win some big games. I don't know who it's going to be. And I know Phil and Coops have been following the league. They might have some ideas or might want to handicap, okay, this team maybe is more likely than that team. But I just, I look at an MVC where everybody has the same record and has a good power ranking. I look at an NEC where everybody has the same record and has a lousy power ranking. I really don't get it, quite honestly. And again, that postseason stat I cited, I think, proves the mettle of this league. And that doesn't even include the Final Four appearance by Masco from when they were in the Cal. So that number would be even better. That Masco being in the league strengthens the league. It doesn't hurt it. So, just to sum up, I think somebody from this league is going on a run. I just don't know who it's going to be.
I could see going on a little run. I mean, to me, and he could speak to it more than I could, but Gloucester seems to be playing really good ball lately.
Yep, agreed.
And they, in Division 3, is it, Nick, I want to say? They could certainly make a nice little run. They are Division 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Marblehead in Division 2 could also do pretty well.
I love their lineup. Pitching is a little bit inconsistent, but I mean, if you look at my stats leaders tomorrow, it's all Marblehead guys. I mean, Liam McElroy and Skylar Schmidt, if there's a better 2-3 combination in the state, I'd like to know who it is. Those guys are both ridiculous.
They just have a ton of good athletes, I feel like, in Marblehead. They've got terrific coaching. They play really good defense. And they've come up with some quality wins in May, especially in the second half of May, as things get closer. Good win over 2 wins over Beverly or 1 win over Beverly?
I beat him twice. I believe they beat him twice.
Okay. I think 15 in the power seedings is a little bit misleading. you figure they get through the opening round, then, they could be matched up against one of those stronger teams, King Philip, say, or who else is near the top there, Bill? I wanted to say it was number 3, Mansfield.
Yeah.
Established programs from down the South Shore Hockomock League. But I don't know. I feel like there's something about this Marblehead team when I hear Willie say that, like, somebody could go on a run. Why not them? I think they have the firepower, and if they can get that pitching where they can make a nice little postseason run for themselves.
I really like their rivals down the road, Swampscott, too. I think Coach Cap has done a wonderful job with them this year. I think they're similar to Gloucester. It's just too bad both those teams happen to be in Division III, where, you go on a run until you run into that green monster in Reading of Austin. And 3 teams, just the way the bracket might shake out in Gloucester and Swampscott both from the NEC.
When's the last time somebody went undefeated in baseball for a whole season? It's got to be a while.
I don't believe it's ever been done in history in Division I, and I'm not totally sure about the other divisions.
I know that 99 Danvers team was 25-0 going into the final against Hudson and lost. But I didn't know if there was somebody else, if Austin Prep had ever done it before. When they were back in Division 4, or St. Mary's has done it. Again, off the top of my head, I can't think so.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head either. I mean, I know it's never been done in D1, which is amazing when you think about it.
Well, it is. I mean, to win every game you play in baseball, it's not easy.
You're right. No, you're totally right. But then it's just when you start thinking about, it obviously happens regularly in softball and soccer and in football, of course, and even sometimes in basketball. So just to think never in, 50 years. I mean, you're totally right. It sounds almost impossible because of the pitching, right? But it is still like remarkable compared to the other high school sports.
Willie, is Gloucester's number 9 ranking here in D3 the highest ranked NEC team? Is that what we're kind of thinking right now?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, these haven't been updated, and there's been some teams that have had probably some wins. I mean, I don't know, exactly what's going to happen, but I want to say so. I mean, they beat Ipswich the other day. That might actually lose them some points, but
I think it does. Actually, Gloucester, I talked to Rory today. He seems convinced they might drop down to 11 because Dighton, Rehoboth, and Sandwich both had better wins than they did, much better wins than they did over the weekend. And they seem to think they're on a crash course for Bishop Fenwick, and that would be quite a tough break for a team that won 14 games. Having to face Bishop Fenwick because they had to forfeit 3 games is quite a tough pill to swallow.
Faced them last year in the tournament too, right? Was that
and they got buried? They faced Marino, and Marino shut them down. They had a better offense last year than they do this year, so that would be a real tough break for them if it happened.
I agree.
All right. Any other baseball things, or we could jump to another sport? Or
I would say, not to take up too much time, but just very quickly on St. John's Prep. I think, some people and myself perhaps included, we're kind of shoveling some dirt on Prep a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. They lost a bunch of league games. They got beat by Catholic Memorial 20-5. I mean, I don't know when the last time St. John's gave up 20 runs in a game was, but it's got to be maybe never, right? But all they've done since then is win 5 in a row. They've beaten some really good teams. St. Mary's Lynn in there, Central Catholic, they beat in a come-from-behind win on Sunday. So the Eagles being 13-7, I would say don't sleep on them. I mean, I don't know how far up that's going to get them in the power rankings. I'm guessing somewhere in the 13 to 18 range. But, I mean, if you look at their state titles from the early 2000s, those teams were, I think, 11-9 and 12-8 and turned it on. And this team, I didn't think they had it in them, but now I'm wondering, like, is there something these guys have flipped a little bit of a switch, and they're a team perhaps to be watched out for here going into the tournament with 5 wins in a row.
And you see Beverly here at 26 here in Division I too, just a FYI. Okay.
Yeah, that late season slide is really going to hurt them potentially. I mean, if they play well, they can play with anyone, but the late season couple losses is going to hurt their seeding certainly, and probably cost them a home game anyway.
All right, Phil, what do we do? What sport should we shoot to next?
Why don't we go to tennis since that's coming out tomorrow too?
Okay.
Nick Giannino, we'll hear from him, and then we can go to softball.
You've got it. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, we like you guys said, those are coming out on Wednesday, those final pairings, but they're pretty much all static, except for a couple matches here that have to be wrapped up. So we can start right in Division I, Bill. St. John's Prep had another great season. 15-3. I think they finished up 15-3, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying to get there, Nick. We're there. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah, so right there, number 6. I mean, Division I's a gauntlet. Those top teams, Brookline, Lexington, Acton, Boxborough, Wellesley, Newton North, even Winchester, BCI, the top 10. All those teams are just really, really good. For St. John's Prep to make a run, they're going to need to get 3 points, obviously, out of the 5 matches. They got some good singles play, but I think it's going to come down to their doubles. But yeah, they had another spectacular season. They just keep reloading over there and at St. John's Prep, and have a home match, probably a bye, and we'll see what they can do. That's the only Division I team we got in the area, I believe. If you let me scroll down here.
I'm sorry, I took it off for you there.
All right, I think that's it. Anyway, that's our only D1 team. So, but yeah, awesome regular season for them again.
Here's 2.
Division II boys. Let's see. We got Beverly down there at 9-7, number 26, and Masco right with them. Those teams had couple close matches this year. Beverly lost to them the first time around, and then they did get them towards the end of the season on a windy day. Neither of those teams have real studs at first singles, but they're well balanced. They're going to have to try to pick up wins in some other slots in the lineup. Not to say that those top kids, Sam Brockelman from Masco, and I think the kid's name for Beverly is Ollie Forhog, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but both of them had some really good battles against each other. Not sure how they'll stack up at the Division II state level. It's always just a different animal in tennis, in particular for the state tournament. I think there's a lot of teams out west and on the South Shore that, have some really good tennis programs. It's just tough to make a run, but, those teams will get in, and we'll see what they can do.
You got Marblehead up at 11 there too, and
Marblehead at 11. Yeah, I totally forgot about them. Strong season for them. That might be enough to get them a first round home game. We'll see. I'm not sure if they had another match after that 12-6 mark. These rankings came out last Friday. But yeah, Marblehead's got a good team, a balanced team. They did really well in the NEC, which was a pretty solid league this year. So again, we're going to see how they match up against some of these out-of-conference teams that really have the depth and, a lot of year-round tennis players. When you look at Masco, Beverly, Marblehead, those teams have some good athletes, not a lot of year-round tennis players. But, sometimes that experience and athleticism can pay dividends. So we'll see.
Here's 3 too, Nick, with Swampscott at number 10.
Yeah, Swampscott, and they had a decent season. You look at their record, 8-6, but again, you're seeing that, that the NEC is going to fare pretty well in these rankings, especially when you get to Division III and Division IV. Swampscott at 8-6, just over 500, had a lot of close battles. They got some good singles players there. So that division is more wide open. I don't want to say wide open, but it's definitely some beatable teams on that bracket. Wayland's always a powerhouse, but even them, look, they had 5 losses. You look at Dover Sherburne, they're 17-1. That's a really good team. Martha's Vineyard usually has some good tennis, so it's interesting. Let's look down the line. We got Swampscott. My Pentucket Panthers, man, tough season for them.
That's right. It's now the Pentucket Panthers, right?
Yeah. And they're going to be bidding farewell to longtime tennis coach over there, Christian Langlois. He was my coach in high school. Great guy. Had a great career there. I think 22 seasons coaching soccer and tennis at Pentucket. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out. Excellent coach, better guy, great teacher. I'm still going to keep teaching. He's not, he's still young, so maybe he'll return to coaching sometime down the line here. But yeah, that's all we got in Division 3 that it looked like going to be in the mix. Bishop Fenwick had a real down year after graduating some good players. So Swampscott, they're the team, and that's a Swampscott boys team that's had a good run in recent years. They went undefeated a couple seasons ago, or had one loss. Ended up getting punched in the tournament. They're bringing some good teams over there, so we'll see what they can do this year. Maybe pick up a couple tournament wins.
A lot of Cape Ann representation at the top of D4 here.
D4. Yeah, I don't know much about Manchester Essex, Nick, but that's another team that they have the luxury of practicing over at the MAC in Manchester. Just have a lot of kids that play tennis year round. You see Hamilton Wenham right below them. They had an excellent year under second-year head coach Ian McCracken, who was a former player over there. So those two Cal teams, and again, just like the NEC, I think the Cal might even be more competitive. Obviously, mentioned Pentucket had that down year. They usually have a program, but some good teams in the Cal, and Manchester Essex is going to be right in the mix again. Absolutely. Same with Hamilton Wenham. So
see Ipswich getting in there, at least according to this, that they qualify because of strength of schedule.
Yeah, that's crazy.
3 of their foes, though, are top 4 teams in the division.
What's that?
3 of their teams they play, I'm assuming they play each twice, top 4 in the division.
Yeah. The Cal was very competitive this year, and because it's Division 4, there's not a ton of powerhouses. Obviously, Linfield and Weston sitting at the top, right, with Hamilton Wenham and Manchester Essex. But yeah, I'm surprised to see that Ipswich is in there. We'll see when the final rankings come out if they do make the cut. But I'm sure John Tracy would love to get those young kids, the experience of a tournament match, regardless of how it goes. They did have some wins this year, individually. They just weren't able to get the 3 wins. They're just not very deep. They're going to be heading in the right direction, I believe, moving forward here. But yeah, that's that power ranking system with the strength of schedule. You get 1 win and you get a chance to compete. Go figure.
See, Rockport got a top 10 ranking right there now, 2 in Division 4. Their boys tennis program's only been back as a varsity squad for about 4 or 5 years now, and I think they tripled their previous highest win total since they came back this season. So they're looking strong. Obviously, Manchester Essex. Gloucester was in the mix too in that Division 3. They were 12-5, won the NEC Lynch division. I actually watched them play Swampscott a few weeks back, and 4 of the 5 matches went to 3 sets. It was actually a really great match. The 2 teams, Gloucester is kind of feisty. They got some athletes at their singles spots that maybe aren't year-round tennis players, but they're good enough athletes to give year-round tennis players a go.
Yeah, Weston, they got to be the heavy favorite. Weston's good year in and year out. The fact that they're in Division 4, that it's school size and all that, but that's a team that could easily be D2 or D3. So that they're going to be tough to beat, but you never know, right?
All right, I've got Division 1 softball power rankings up here now.
So let's talk about the girls real quick, because we do have 2 really good girls tennis teams in the area.
All right.
I definitely want to highlight. We got Hamilton Wenham, who went undefeated this year. We had a feature in the paper on them a couple of weeks back. That's the best season they've had in 20 years, their first Cal title in 20 years, I believe. Just stacked up and down the lineup. Their top 2 singles players are both underclassmen, Sky Jara, freshman, and I can't think of Provost. I can't think of her first name. Naomi Provost, number 2. She's a freshman. Sky Jara is a sophomore. So that 1-2 punch at first and second singles has been incredible. And the big thing with Hamilton Wenham is their depth. He's got like over 20 girls on varsity. You can rotate them all in and out of the lineup. He's got a couple double teams that have been really successful. Their first doubles team with Nora Gamber, the team captain. teaming up there at first doubles, and they went undefeated at 11-0. So they had Naomi Provost went undefeated at second singles, and Guy Jara went 18-2 or 16-2 at first singles. So that's a really good team. They feel like they can compete with anyone in the bracket. Sometimes, like I said, you get to this level and you see opponents that you don't see during the regular season, and it might be a step up in terms of skill level and year-round tennis player type thing. But Hamilton Wenham is really good, I think, for real, and that they're going to want to try and make a run here at a state championship. And then the other team I wanted to highlight too was Masco. They also, I'm not sure, did they finish undefeated?
Are they in 2 or 3, Nick?
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, they're in
Masco's
2.
in
I got it
2.
here.
Yep.
Here.
And they did. They completed it. I believe that's accurate. The 14-0. I'm not sure if they had another match or two. Incredible season for them. Another team with a ton of depth, a lot of experience, and they competed really well in the NEC this year. It looks like they were rewarded. You got a couple teams with some losses ahead of them again, but to go undefeated, that's an accomplishment in itself for the regular season. And that's another team that's going to look to make a deep run, host a playoff game, and see where they can go. So two really good girls teams that I think have a shot of going pretty deep in this thing.
All right, Phil, should we go to softball or?
You want them?
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back, see if I can find that again.
I'll let Willie jump in here with me.
Okay, go for it.
Why don't you start off, Willie, about Peabody in Division I, and then maybe I can talk a little bit about Beverly. Looks like Peabody, after winning the Corning tournament this past weekend, finished 18-2. The only 2 losses to Amesbury, and they should have a top 8 or 9 seed, I'm guessing, Willie.
They're 9 right now in this.
16-2, so I would think a win over Beverly and Danvers can't hurt them. So I would say, if you're them, you hope it's enough for top 8, right? Because that gets you another home game.
Right, 3 potential.
Potentially, and if you're not, if you're between 8 and 16, right, you get 2 home games, and then the third round will be on the road, barring upsets. Which again, I think in the pitching games, baseball and softball, we might see more upsets than we do in some of these other games. But no, hey, I think if you're the Tanners, you feel good about Amesbury because they're a really good team. I don't care what division they're in, right? Like, I don't think that means they're bad or they're a paper tiger or whatever. When they get runs in, they're almost impossible to beat. And they just got to get the timely hitting and sometimes maybe the home run, find a way to manufacture some runs in these close games, through the small ball stuff or whatever. But it's certainly a battle-tested team. It's a team that went to the North Final last year and has everybody back from that team. So they're as good as anybody. I think it just comes down to how you're going to play, but I don't think they're going to be overmatched by anybody, certainly. And, that's why the playoffs are awesome, right? We'll see what happens.
It is unfortunate that there isn't a way, especially maybe as we get down to crunch time towards the state tournament, say like the last week and a half, 2 weeks, that these rankings can't be updated daily.
That's absurd.
It's absurd what I said, or that they don't do it.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm agreeing with you. No, I'm sorry.
Gosh, hey, I was looking for my pink slip here. What's going on? No, it's crazy.
You're crazy, Phil.
There are teams that I saw this online today. Like, there are teams who had their seasons finished a week ago, and they have no idea if they're in or out, or where they're ranked, and how do they start planning, and how do you start trying to find, who you might be playing and potentially try to get some information on them. These teams should know all this is over and done with. All the games have been played. The rankings should be updated and out there, so there's got to be a way to fix that. And, I think there's a lot I like about the new ranking system. I think it's gone really well. I think it's been pretty accurate and true, but that is a glitch that needs to be fixed. It would be nice. Hey, they could technically end up playing Beverly a fourth time in the opening round. I don't think it's going to work out that way. I think even if Peabody were to ascend to say number 8 in the rankings, I don't think Beverly would fall to 24 based on the fact that they played Peabody in their last game. But, there's got to be a way to fix that, I think. Beverly's 14-6. 3 of their 6 losses have been to Peabody. I think they'll be all right. I think they could be a first round opening game sleeper, depending on who they're matched up against. If they get, someone like Westford Academy or North Andover or whatnot, you don't know what could happen there. So hopefully the Panthers with Coach Sudak and Noel McLean and Emily Stillwell and Jamie DuPont and all can put together some good ball in June and win a tournament game or two. What do you got here, Bill? Division 3?
Well, I noticed that I had 2 up for a moment. Masco's up there around the number 10 ranking or whatever. But here in 3, you've got Gloucester at number 8. St. Mary's, obviously, the Lynn up there at number 1.
Yep. So, Fenwick at 13, too.
Yeah.
And Essex Tech is just outside the bubble there at 33. I'm guessing they don't get in because they have a losing record, and whatever their last game was, I don't imagine it would be enough to push them up. I don't know that. But so you're probably looking at 3 of our locals there. And I mean, clearly St. Mary's is the team to beat. I mean, they go up against Fian, which is ranked number 1 in the state right now. They play Fenwick, they play Archies, they play AC, so they're battle tested. What do we know about this Gloucester team, Nick?
They're playing their best at the right time. They got off to a slow start, but they're 13-3 in their last, 16 after a 1-3 start. And, they finally got that big win they needed last week. I know Beverly had played about 5 games in 6 days, but Gloucester beat them pretty handily. I think it was an 8-0 win over in Gloucester. And that was kind of the signature win they needed. They kind of beaten the teams that they should beat, lost to the elite teams. And that was kind of their first win over, one of the truly top teams in the NEC. So they're dangerous, but they do got 2 losses to St. Mary's already. That team's standing in their way. So they're going to have to buck the trend there if they want to make a real deep run.
We should point out Swampscott. I know they're 39th right now, but they won the Holland tournament over the weekend. They beat St. Mary's. St. Mary's is number 1. So if anything's going to get you,
right.
Is that going to be enough to move them up 7 spots? I don't know, but that's kind of the point. And to Phil's point, shame on them for not knowing what, the idea behind these power rankings is, wow, we upset the number 1 team. What did it get us? Let's click on it the next day and see. And, this was 5 days ago and they still don't know, but there's an outside chance they could sneak in. And I mean, if they beat St. Mary's, they could beat anybody, right?
That's a nice recovery for you, Matt. Nice job, I think. Okay.
You had Division 4 up there, Bill. It's pretty slim pickings. I think you had Linfield at 31, Ipswich at 32.
There's powerful Amesbury at 3. Yeah.
Yeah, Amesbury, which we said beat Peabody twice this year.
Lost, huh?
Probably not a long run for our locals.
With
the exception of Amesbury. And Division 5, what do we get? Rockport, top 10, top 12, Kooks?
Yeah, I believe so. 10-10, but 10-10 is a good record for Rockport and the Cal. And they got Kelsey Anderson. I don't know how there's going to be too many pitchers in Division 5 that kind of bring the heat that she does. And she racks up the strikeouts. I think she was, mixing them in with your guys. I think Opont from Fenwick was the only pitcher in the area with more strikeouts than her.
Oh, wow.
So, that's kind of the interesting team for this, this rating system where, Rockport is, about half the size of the second smallest school in the Cal. So now they're, softball's been one of their more consistent girls sports. We get to see how they do against teams their own size. I think they'll fit in quite nicely.
Nice. Phil, I'm looking at the clock. We don't have a lot of time left. We do want to get to lacrosse. So maybe you could take us down that road very quickly here.
We can do a Cliff Notes version if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no surprise, St. John's Prep is going to be number 1 in Division 1. Defending state champs, only 1 loss, 1 that counts on their record anyway. 1 was an endowment game against a team from Connecticut. So they're going in as the favorites. By no means a lock to win it. Not with, Lincoln Sudbury, not with BC High, not with Hingham out there. But, the prep is going to breeze at least through the first 3 rounds. Should not have any trouble. I mean, I shouldn't say breeze third round, but, they should do very well for their 3 home games, I would think. Franklin's a good team. They only beat by a goal early this year. Franklin, I see, is 8 right now. So a 1-8 in the quarterfinals could be a tough matchup. I do think the prep is playing its best lacrosse right now, really, really playing well. So they are the team to beat. Be interesting to see for those guys who won a hockey title that also play lacrosse, getting back-to-back championships. That does not happen too often in these parts, where we have 2 sports like that win back-to-back titles. I'm thinking 2001 Danvers hockey and baseball, but since then, have we had anybody, Willie, prep? Basketball, baseball, no. Hockey, baseball, no. Hamilton Wenham, basketball, nothing, no.
No.
Masco, soccer, baseball?
Yeah, maybe. I'd have to look up years on the soccer. It's entirely possible.
Okay.
2014, it would have been. I mean, they won a Division II soccer title in that somewhere, but I don't remember if it was in that. It was either 13, 14, 15. It was like in that little era there with Dave Mitchell, but I don't remember exactly what year it was.
I want to say Beverly 2014 state champs in hockey, North champs in lacrosse, but
Fenwick's girls, I think, won the volleyball and the basketball the same year.
Okay. Point is, it doesn't happen too often, so they have a chance to do that. Beverly got in.
I mean, I know they're playing great. They lost those games. They had some of the close games. Like, is it a fait accompli? I feel like it sort of has been discussed that way, but maybe it's not. But maybe
they're going to win it all. No. I was just saying, Lincoln Sudbury beat them 8-4. I think Prep's a vastly different team from them, but it's still an obstacle in their way. BC High, they've had their way with for the last 2 years, but they're a formidable foe. Always give them a battle. Hingham's a very good team. They just went down there Saturday and beat them there. Like I said, Franklin, they only beat by a goal. They didn't lead in that game until there were 3 seconds left when they scored the game-winning goal. There's some tough programs there.
Just kind of seems like, well, they had some stumbles, but then they're number 1 anyway. So it's like, what did the stumbles even? Doesn't seem like it cost them anything. It just seems like they got back to number 1 in a hurry.
I think that's based on their own strength of schedule. Certainly, they play one of the toughest schedules in the state, and the fact that they've been winning so impressively, won the league outright, putting up a ton of goals, not giving up many. So I think that formula kind of works to that there. Beverly will get in as they were ranked 30, but they finished 11-7, might bump up a spot. Peabody's also in, might not make the 32, but they finished with a winning record, so they're in. Division 2, Marblehead had a real good win the other night, and they finish up this week with Wakefield. They beat Lexington the other night, which was a great win for them. Division 1 Lexington. They finished up with another real good program in Wakefield, so they could bump up from their current slot of 13. In fact, they probably already have after that win against Lexington. Masco will get in. They'll be on the road in Division 2, and Danvers also will be on the road in the mid-20s, somewhere in there. Division 3, same thing. We'll have 3 roadies with Essex Tech, Swampscott, and Fenwick are all in that 20 to 28 range. They'll be on the road, for first-round games. Ipswich should get a home game in Division 4. They were ranked, I think, 14th in the last pairing, and they wound up with a nice win over Groton Dunstable, so that should maybe bump them up a spot or 2. Hamilton Wenham, lousy record, but they're going to get in by strength of schedule. They'll be on the road for the first round.
Nick Giannino, can you give me 60 seconds on girls lacrosse? We don't have a lot of time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick tidbit here. Division 1, we got Peabody and Beverly both going to make the cut. Beverly got in with a winning record. They're number 38. Peabody had a great season under first-year head coach Michelle Roach, 15 wins, 3 losses. Somehow they're only ranked 24, so not a whole lot of love for the NEC schedule this year. Division 2, we got Masco at number 8. They're 14-6. They really challenged themselves with a lot of tough out-of-conference games this year, so that's going to benefit them in the tournament for sure. They got a lot of firepower. That's a team that can put up a lot of goals. I like Masco a lot in Division 2. Moving down the line in Division 2, I think that might be it for our teams. I'll come back to it quickly if we have to. Division 3, we got a lot of teams here. Essex Tech at number 13. They had a great season, 16-2, dominated their conference. Obviously going to see a lot tougher teams in the tournament. You got Swampscott, who had some games canceled, postponed, but they still got 10 wins. They're coming in at number 14. So they're making the cut. Bishop Fenwick, number 21 in Division 3, just about 500. And moving on to Division 4, both Ipswich and Hamilton Wenham, top 6 seeds. Those are teams that are just hovering over 500, but again, have a lot of power, some good offenses. Ipswich got a really good defense. Those two teams split their regular season series.
Nick, I'm going to have to stop you there because I know we're going to get
season.
chopped off here with a time limit here, but we got it. Nick,
All
great
right.
job. All you guys, great stuff, and we will talk again soon.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.